Hello, hello, JJ DiGeronimo here. Another week of Together We Seek. As you know, I am thrilled to bring you so many wonderful souls on the planet that are helping us illuminate our path ahead. And I spend a lot of time working with different people, and I really want to use this opportunity to introduce a really amazing soul that has given me such clarity in some of my key relationships. So, Stephanie Banks, hello. Thank you for joining Together We Seek.
Hi, JJ. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited about this because working with you has been so insightful.
Amazing. That makes my heart so happy to hear.
It was interesting because we have done a couple one on one sessions, and it was great because there were relationships in my life that were giving me a pause, maybe even like taking up too much of my mental energy, or I just couldn't really figure out like what the significance was of the relationship. And when we met, you are a beautiful channel and you were able to channel the higher self of myself and someone else.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
I've never met anyone that has done this before. So to me, this is like, what? And it was funny how quickly the other person wanted to jump in. Uh, And it was really awesome because it gave such clarity to where our relationship is and where it's going. And honestly, it gave me some peace that I don't know if I would have achieved on my own.
Yeah, that's the beauty of soul communication. It's not trying to trick anyone or trying to play into any personality. It's just truth. It's just the essence of why we're here, what we're doing together. It really does clarify a lot. And then we can choose to think of things differently.
Mm. And I want to hear like, so, we don't always get up and be like, okay, I'm going to be a conscious channel today, a vessel to channel this information to people. So tell us a little bit about what you do right now. And then I'd love to talk a little bit about how you got to this.
Sure. Well, that is how I get up every morning. I say that. Okay, I'm going to be a conscious channel today. My channeling journey opened up because I needed to find a way to stay connected with my mom through her dementia. And lucky for me, the universe dropped a best friend into my field who was a very gifted channeler. I'd never heard of it before, never knew this was a thing, but I watched this beautiful friend channel souls that were on the planet. You could ask any question that you wanted to ask. I asked my mom's soul, like, what are we here to do together? How can I serve you better? How can I take care of myself while also attending to what you need? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? And her soul channeled through my friend all the things that I needed to know and hear. And it completely changed the relationship, completely, forever changed the relationship that I had with my mom. It went from being pretty rocky and challenging and frustrating to joyful and playful and silly and fun, simply because I got to hear from her soul what my role was now, and I got to choose if I wanted to play into that or continue to hold steady with my own controlling tendencies. So it gives opportunity, right, for us to choose a different way, a different growth. And then when I found out what this could do for my relationship with my mom, I was very curious to see, well, how could this positively impact me as a parent? How could it impact me as a spouse? What if I could channel other people in my life? What if I could channel my pets? What if I could tune into any soul that I wanted to tune into? So I decided to learn, and I learned, and now I teach it, and we can all do this. There's nothing unique to me that makes me any different than anyone else that wants to devote to this work.
How exciting. So, how long did it take you to learn to channel?
Huh. It took me probably a couple years of study before, and then many more years of insecurity before I actually decided to just trust what's coming through and allow it to have the space and share it. But it took me a lot much longer to believe in me and my ability to than it did actually to obtain the skills and tools to be able to channel.
Hmm. How beautiful. And I do think that it's such a beautiful evolution of how you had your friend come and sit with you, talk to your mother, help you, and you loved it so much that you're like, I need to learn this so I can help other people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have watched it change countless lives and relationships. It's incredible what can be illuminated when you hear from the soul of your partner or your supervisor or your child or your great aunt or whomever you find yourself relating to and having maybe a challenging relationship with, because it's in our relationships that our souls do their greatest growth. And so we tend to choose relationships that are, some of them are very challenging because nobody grows when things are easy, right? We actually need need a challenge in order to push us to our edges so we can grow and expand. So it's really been a game changer for me in my life and for my clients. And I also channel trees and I channel animals, and they're not complicated, by the way, not like human souls. But we can get insight and information and guidance for every aspect of our lives. Every question we can get an answer to through channeling.
I find that it was so incredibly valuable. I did a couple different things and even worked on my spouse and I of like what's
Mm.
going on. But I agree, like understanding your most important relationships through channeling with you is really so eye-opening because it takes the ego energy out and it's just like soul to soul. This is what we're doing together. This is where we're at, this is why I do this. This is why you do this. And I thought it was amazing. And you didn't even need to know anything from me. Like that was the most amazing part. Like when I jumped on the call or Zoom call with you and we recorded it, which was so nice, you didn't need to know anything. You just like so quickly tapped in and people jumped in and they were like, hey, FYI. And I was like, oh my goodness, how nice to know.
Yeah, yeah, it's really helpful when a client is telling me what they want me to channel. I have learned how to listen beyond and behind their words. So I get a lot of information, not from what they're saying, but from the energy that comes through. So the guides are telling me, pay attention to this, tune into that, ask this question for further clarity around this. I'm getting so much assistance and support from my guidance team and from my clients group of guides to show me what I'm listening for, what to attune to. So when I do go into the channeling mode, we're going right where the greatest benefit is, right where my client needs to know the information that will serve in the best way.
It really is so powerful. So if anyone's listening and you have a relationship that you're like scratching your head, you're like, what is going on here? Why is this happening this way? Or a relationship maybe that you haven't talked to somebody and it causes you so much angst, or when you do talk to them, it causes you so much anger and frustration. Understanding the soul relationship, the relationship, and the lesson you need to learn from each other is instrumental. And I definitely recommend Stephanie and her work. And I love the fact that you're helping people with your book. I think your book is amazing, staying connected to your loved ones through dementia and beyond. Like, I think that's amazing that you're giving tools and resources to people that are the caregivers, to
Mhm.
people that might not be able to communicate. Do you do a lot of that work?
So I do have a number of families that will ask me to channel their loved ones, and their loved ones might have dementia, or they might be dealing with autism, or they might have anything that kind of interferes with their ease of communication. Because when you go right to the soul and find out what that being needs from you and what they're actually here to do, it can make so much more, oh goodness, it just makes life easier with that person when you know what it is they need from you and what it is that they don't. Oftentimes, especially as spouses or parents or partners, we tend to take on a lot that isn't even ours, and we think we're helping, right? We think we're being so useful and helpful, but actually we're interfering. And that was something that I learned from my mom's soul when she channeled through my friend. She showed me where I was actually interfering in her relationship with my father, for example. I thought I was rescuing everybody. But actually, I was making things murkier and more confusing for her, and they were confusing enough. She has a separate relationship with my father, and I just needed to stay in my lane and do my thing. And that's, I think, what channeling can offer as well. It can really clarify what's ours and what is not.
I find that so funny because last week I talked to Corby and she was talking about holding other people's energy and how do you
Mhm.
let that go through family constellations and EFT. So the fact that you're echoing that again, it really must be something people have to hear is that they're holding energy and stuff of other people that really isn't theirs. And I think with the way that the universe is going now, we really have to work to clean out what's
Mhm.
no longer serving us so that we can create space for light and allow
Mhm.
us to lean into our own gifts.
Yes, beautifully said. That's exactly right. Before I even understood like what an empath was, I would go around absorbing the energetic states of everything and everyone around me. I could feel when a plant was thirsty. I could feel when somebody was, in turmoil, emotional turmoil. And it gets confusing when you don't know that that's not yours. But when you learn that that's actually a gift to be able to perceive that, you don't have to wear it. You don't have to have it become part of you. You can actually channel it in a different direction for a different purpose. It's very, very empowering.
And so, do you now teach channeling to other people?
Yeah. Yeah. I always say it may not be the best business model, right, to teach everyone how to do what I do. But I want to live in a world where we are all trusting our inner voice of wisdom, where we are all connecting through spirit, through soul, through heart, through the right hemisphere of the brain, which is deeply connected. That's the world I envision for humanity. There's harmony in that. There's beauty and love and compassion in that.
And do you do that all the time, or is it one time a year? If someone's listening, is like, oh, I really want to learn this.
Yeah, I have recorded classes on the website,
Mhm.
so people can get started whenever they want to. They're pre-recorded, and then I do teach one or two live master classes a year where you really get to dive in deeper, and we do partnered readings, and I sort of guide people through how to practice this in a way that's safe and respectful.
Yeah, that's an interesting question because that was something I asked you during my reading with you, or I don't even call it a reading. I feel like it was like it was just an awakening. I think for me,
Mm.
it was an awakening. And I said, I've heard that you really can't tap into other people's higher self unless you ask permission. And you said,
Well, I am only able to channel them with their permission.
yes.
And it's very rare that a soul says, no, I don't want to come through. Souls want to come through because they want things to improve, right? They want us to operate from love. They want us to operate from understanding. So there's nothing nefarious about a soul or about spirit. It's love, it's light. And that's what when I'm channeling, that's what I'm tuning into. So once in a while, let's say a soul recently transitioned and they may not be wishing to or prepared to come through in a channeled session, they will tell me, or someone on their behalf will tell me, no thanks for me, but I'm sending some guides, so you'll still get what you need. And that's happened a handful of times, but most of the time, it is a delight for the souls to be invited to come through and to speak through me, because the agreement is I'm only operating from this place of love. I'm channeling from fifth dimensional consciousness only, and that's unity consciousness. That is all light.
Mm. I just am so honored to have you here. I'm really honored that we even crossed paths. I feel like there's just so many wonderful souls out there doing so many beautiful things, and it often comes from their own needs.
Mhm.
I know you're working on your second book,
Mhm.
and I'm working on one of my books too. And I'm talking a lot about the phases of
Mhm.
how people identify their gifts and then
Mhm.
how they emerge. And I feel like your story is so fantastic. Like, that you felt such a desire to talk with your mother,
Mhm.
to see where you were, where you should lean in, where you should lean out. And your friend came forward to help you. And I just think we get opportunities to see how we can lean into our gifts in sometimes the most random ways.
Yes. And this friend, she was my first mentor. I'm using past tense because she is on the other side now. But yeah, if I had not seen her do this work, I would not even know I could. And the reason why I do it, the reason why I'm able to channel any soul that is here on the planet right now is because I saw someone do it and she always encouraged me. She's like, you can do this. You can learn to do this. Here's my mentor's number. Here's some books to read. So that's how I know this is really accessible to all of us. If you're willing to put in the practice, the time, it does require meditation, I should say, time to really create the space for stillness so that we can receive from the highest vibration. Anyone can learn to do this.
Well, I've taken some channeling classes in the past, and I'm going to take some more. I'm going to visit your website and check it out. So I just really appreciate it. I think really understanding the importance of the relationships you have around you is so instrumental. And I feel like that came to me years ago with Seed of the Soul. Gary Zuvak talks about the relationships. And so I've known this for a long time, but as I become more and more enlightened in my journey, you can see other people's relationships and what the lesson is. I can, at least when I'm standing, oh, I see what she's supposed to learn or what he's supposed to learn. And I think the validation of talking with you and tapping in, because it's not just that you receive a message, we then like talk it through. And I thought that was super helpful too, because I feel like you can release the power of things when you actually bring it up and out. And I think that's really kind of like the yin and yang of the time we spent together.
Yes, exactly. I think that's what makes it so useful is that it's not just a message that gets dropped in your lap and now you go off and figure it out. I actually am also shown imagery and given understanding, like layers of understanding of what's beneath that message. Like sometimes it's a history of what that soul has been through, or sometimes it's a direction of where things are going. And so we always process that afterwards. And I give the additional information to the client because it's really for them. These are your messages. And I like to help make them very functional to you.
And you do. So tell us a little bit about what you're working on.
So I'm working on my book. It's going to teach people how to channel if I write it correctly, and I plan to. And creating some new classes and things that I will be birthing after the new year. So everything can be found on my website, soulinsight.com. And yeah, I'm excited for this next chapter of what I am sharing with the world.
Well, I'm excited to see it. And do you feel like your gifts are shifting too with all the shifts that are coming astrologically right now?
Yes. And I can't say for sure what that means, but I absolutely feel something is growing and expanding. So I'm trying to prepare. I'm preparing my home space for it. I'm preparing my mental space for it. I'm preparing the roles that I currently embody. Where can I tidy that up? Where can I delegate? Delegating is a big thing, so that I can free myself up to be in greater service, because this is indeed a time where those who are called to be of greater service must respond.
Well, I'm excited. I feel like I'm doing the same thing actually on my floor right now, just files, like redoing my files, cleaning my space up. I have been really sort of a drawer at a time. Even when I don't have the time, I feel very needed to clean my areas up so I don't have to do it later. That's funny you say that.
Yes, it's a big thing right now. I think this purging, clearing, like you said, making room for light.
Well, it's such a powerful time. I'm so honored you are part of the Together We Seek network. I hope that people that are listening to this, that you reach out to Stephanie, check out her work, check out her videos, and soon to be your book. Do you think it'll be 2026 or beyond?
Yes, my goal is to finish the writing of it this calendar year and get it ready for publication.
That's fantastic. That's my goal too. So I'm working to get it done too, because I feel like 2026 is going to be a whirlwind. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I really feel like, let's get all this stuff buckled up so that we're ready.
Yes, agree. I totally feel that too.
Well, I'm so honored that you visited us. I love talking about your work. And beyond your book and your on your website, all your links are below for anybody that wants to reach out to Stephanie. She's also actively on Instagram and YouTube. And I hope that you follow her and really experience her work firsthand, because it really is spectacular.
Thank you so much, JJ. You're amazing. And I'm so grateful for this time with you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for joining Together We Seek, and we will see you here next time.